here on the right side, if you click on this, you see this like tiles, list and columns. So at the moment, the anything that is displayed in the content browser, you are seeing it as tiles. If you want to see them as list, you can see them by list. If you want, you can go ahead and see them by columns. And again, tiles is the best, so I will always prefer keeping them in tiles, but you can change to list or column by going here in content browser on settings and clicking on it. Lock content browser means if we select one object, and let's bring one another content browser, like go here in window and go in content browser and bring another content browser, and maybe let's dock it here. Okay, if I select this object in the viewport, press F, and if I control B, then it will not find, this control B command will not find this object location inside this content browser. This is content browser 1. Instead, it will find it in the content browser 2 because this one is locked. So if I just switch it off and if I lock this one now, and if I select this again and press Control B, then now instead of finding it in this content browser, it will find in this one. So this is the lock. So you can lock the content browser, and that way if we select something, press Control B to find it in the content browser, it will find in the content browser which is not locked. So let's go ahead, close this extra content browser and continue here. So here, like, this is so folder, so favorite, so like filter recursively, so source panel. I don't use them like frequently. This one also I don't use them frequently, but this one, like show engine content. So if I click off that, like click on that, then this show engine content, like here on the left, there are no engine content shown. But if I go here and click on show engine content, then you will see extra folders here, and these are engine contents which consist of animation, art tool, automation, basics, lots of things. These are not very much useful at the moment, but later on when you will get experience, they will be useful sometimes, like creating a blueprint, like a sphere, if you want to create an environment for your project, which I will be showing you later. So you can find it useful, but generally 99% of the time keep this show engine content because you will not need them. You can just bring in your objects externally, create it from here by right clicking on the content browser and creating it. But if you want some specific things in content browser, like a sky sphere or some basic shapes, then yes. And also these are the basic shapes which we have created from here. So even if anytime if we click Control B, then this option will be automatically on because these are present inside the like engine content, and to display them it will switch on this it will switch on this, and then it will show here in the content like engine content. Okay, so if we switch it off, then they will be gone, and these are engine contents because I have not brought them externally from any other application like Max or Blender. So this is helpful sometimes, and this one is not helpful much. Not thumbnail size. So this is very helpful tool. Suppose this size is this one, like this sizes of thumbnail is very big and we want to keep it small, then we can make it small. We can make them tiny. We can make them a little bit larger, like large. We can make them huge. So this is helpful, but generally I keep every time on a small. So a small is absolutely adequate for me. It's not too big, it's not too small, and I can see what it is, visually in the content browser directly. But by default, this will be obviously on medium, which you have to go here in settings and click on this and keep it small. And if you go ahead, like there is a mesh here, and if I select it here, right click it, then you will see all these options. But if there is a folder, and when you right click on it, you will see all the options that you will see here. When you go in content browser, select a folder, right click on it, and all the options that you will be seeing here will be same if you select a folder and then right click on it, the options will be same, but options will not be same for the object itself. Okay, so if I go here in this new folder and I can right click on this, you see here these are all those options. See, this is a imported object from externally inside content browser, so we have re-imported. So if you go ahead on desktop and like modify this image and then going right click here and then click re-import, and the latest updated version will be imported here. So I press Ctrl Shift S to save it. Click this folder, right click, fix up redirectors. So as you can see, I have covered the entire content browser. Like firstly, I covered the entire 3D viewport. I explained everything that was present and that can be done in 3D viewport in terms of maneuverability and all those things, movement, rotation, scale, duplication, everything. And then I came to this content browser and I have explained this content browser entirely from scratch to finish. And now we'll go to this place actors. So here this create and this light, shape, cinematic, visual effects, volume, all these things can be created, or you can just go here, click recent, and it will show us what is the most recent object that or thing you have created out of these things. Or you can just go here and basic, and in basic you can create an empty actor, which is not very useful, like I don't use it. There is an empty point light. Yes, you can create a point light, but it will be inside this lighting option also, so I'll skip it from here. Player start, so this is a good thing which should be explained. So if I press G and then switch off the game mode, you see here there is a player start. If you can see, also see on the right side a world outliner, there is a player start. So if we delete this player start and you want to create a new player start, then you can just go here in this place actors and in this basics, and then you can go here in player start and you can drag and drop a player start here. And what the player start is basically, like when we go ahead and click play, it will, like the game or the exe will start from the point of the player start. Okay, so you can clearly see here, and the direction of this blue is the direction player will be seeing once we click play from here, or right click play from here, or just press alt and P to play. Okay, and the blue axis, that this blue axis is the direction it will see. So if I go ahead and rotate this direction, and if I change it to like this, and again if I click play here, so now you can see the direction of the player seeing in that blue direction, where the direction where the blue arrow is pointing out. When character will spawn, it will see in that direction, and if you press escape, then the game mode will be off and you will be again in the perspective viewport. Okay, so this is player start. So you can have multiple player start, but I will recommend to use only one player start in a single level. Okay, so this is player start. Box trigger, I will be explaining how to use box trigger later on when we will be covering basics of blueprint. So we'll let it be like that. And when we go here, like a sphere trigger is also same as trigger, like they are trigger, but one is the shape will be box and then one will be shape in sphere, and I will show the use of them in the project like later on when we will have deeper knowledge about Unreal Engine. Then we will be very easily able to understand what this box trigger or sphere trigger is. So now let's go ahead and go to the next toolbar, which is called the lights, and here you will have 5 major basic light types: directional light, which is also known as sunlight, point light, spotlight, rectangle light, and skylight. So we'll go ahead and cover them now one by one. So let's delete this light present in the scene already, which was a sun and a skylight. If you see here, this was this. I will delete this. and I will just bring a directional light in the scene. So as you can see here, we have, like earlier we had sun and sky, but now we have directional sunlight. You can select this, and when you click E, you can rotate this sun. Okay, you can rotate in any direction, and like let me rotate it in this direction, and after that you'll have to go in this detail panel, okay, on the right. So to manipulate anything in the scene, any selected object, like to move, rotate, scale, increase intensity, decrease intensity, like every kind of manipulation of any object that is selected in the scene is done with the help of this detail panel. So I can either rotate this box, or I can like rotate it on X, Y, or Z direction, or I can like move X, Y, and Z direction. I can rotate it in X, Y, and Z direction with the help of this. I can scale this in X, Y, or Z direction. I can also click on this to fix the scale, and if I increase it, it will be like all the axis scale will, in all the axis scale will be done proportionately. If I switch it off, this like unlock, I can scale, or I can scale it on XYZ independently. If I click this, I can like, so I am just covering this detail panel so that I can now explain these lights in the scene, like lights in Unreal Engine. So now let's select sunlight again, and I can rotate or like move XYZ. I can rotate in X1, like X, or like Y. I can rotate in Z direction. This one it will not affect because the sunlight is coming from infinite. So whether it's placed here in the scene, but Unreal Engine is like treating that this sunlight is coming from infinity. That is why it will have no effect on the X, but on Y and Z it will have, because sun generally moves from in Z and Y direction, but since it's coming from infinite, the rays of the sun, so it will not be affected. You can also, you don't need to scale it, because sun, it cannot be scaled or done anything, something cannot be done something similar to that, but you can here just rotate, or maybe you can also just rotate from here directly in the viewport also. It will be more easier for you. So now let's cover the sunlight or all the lights with that by understanding their properties in the details panel. So I can also bring this detail panel up here, so you can get lots of parameters right away on the screen. So now let's understand this light like parameter, or like light column or light setting. And in this, when you have selected the sun, there is intensity, and this intensity is set to 10 by default in, and this is in lux, and you can increase or decrease the intensity. So if you want to increase the intensity of sunlight, you can make it 20, maybe 30, maybe 50, or anything you want, or you can also decrease it to like 5, 1, 0 will be off, 2, 3, 3.2, 5, all this. So with this help of intensity, you will be able to increase, and you can also click on this slider and slide your mouse left or right to increase it, or you can just click on it and then just type the value and it will be there. Okay, and this one is light color. So if you want to set the color of the light, you can just click on this and then change the color of light according to your, so generally sun is a little bit warmer and yellowish in tint, so you can just go ahead and do that like this. And you can also put exact RGB value, like, so you can also put exact RGB value or HSB value if you want, or you can also put in hex code or hex sRGB code, or you can just manually go ahead and set any specific color. And if you click on this eyedropper, then you can go ahead and from the viewport or anywhere in your screen, you can just go ahead and choose anything you want.